In the remote village of Kosalari, Georgia, a centuries-old tradition is being kept alive by ethnic Azerbaijani grandmothers, who dedicate their lives to the intricate craft of carpet weaving. Among them is 65-year-old Zemfira Kajarova, who moved to the village as a young bride almost 50 years ago. At the time, she knew nothing of weaving carpets, but her mother-in-law and sisters-in-law taught her the art. And now, she's continuing the tradition on a decades-old wooden loom, creating beautiful Persian-style woolen carpets. Zemfira's craft requires incredible patience and skill. Each carpet takes anywhere from 1 month for a small one to up to 2.5 months for a larger piece. The wool is dyed using natural dyes, and after weaving, the carpets are carefully finished, shaved, beaten, and scorched with a gas burner to remove dust and loose ends. The designs, although influenced by Persian rugs, are distinctively bold and striking, with a limited color palette that has a universal appeal. While the art of weaving carpets has largely died out under the pressures of modern mass production and the Soviet era, Zemfira and a few others have kept the tradition alive. She's been working with Rugweaving, a social enterprise, to find buyers willing to pay international prices for these rugs. Rugweaving works with a network of elderly women, mostly from Georgia's Muslim Azerbaijani ethnic minority.
I am Zemfira Kajarova. I am 65 years old. When I was 16, I got married and moved here. Where I am from originally, no one knew how to weave carpets. My mother-in-law and sisters-in-law taught me how to weave, and up until now I continue this art form. When I moved here, my mother-in-law and I began making thread, dyed them, and made carpets. Then we went to the city and sold them at the bazaar. To get the loom ready for weaving, I need 1 whole day. From the next day, I start weaving. If it's a small carpet, I need 1 month. If it's a big one, like this one, I need 1.5, 2, even 2.5 months. I really like weaving, and we need to keep this culture of carpet weaving going. Sadly, not many people want to weave. The young people don't want to, and there aren't many old people left. We need to keep it going, because it's the history of our village.
To sell their handmade rugs abroad, giving them much-needed income in an impoverished and isolated community. Kosalari, located just 60 kilometers south of Tbilisi, has a population that is almost entirely made up of ethnic Azerbaijanis, who are separated from the rest of Georgia by their Turkic language and Shiite Muslim faith. The village is too dry for large-scale agriculture and lacks the pasture land to raise animals, so the only real source of income is the money sent back from locals working in countries like Russia, Greece, and Turkey. In such a harsh environment, the carpets woven by women like Zemfira are a vital lifeline for the village's survival. Despite the importance of their craft, the younger generation shows little interest in continuing the tradition. Many have received Georgian language education and are more integrated into the wider Georgian society.
Then Iran is like France, and the Caucasus is like Italy, with maybe Turkey being Spain in that analogy. But basically, everyone knows about Iranian rugs, and that's still to this day the global center of hand-woven rug production. But the Caucasus is just as good, but a bit smaller and less famous. But certainly, 100 to 120 years ago, some of the finest rugs in the entire world were being woven here in the Caucasus. They have a very different character to Persian rugs. The designs are different, bolder, chunkier, less curvilinear and floral. But I think that's actually why they're so popular today, because the limited color palette, these bold, bright colors, big designs, has kind of universal appeal. Today in Georgia, this tradition has almost completely died out, and only a very small handful of Azerbaijani women are weaving these rugs today. The Soviet Union and the modern world in general, the availability of cheap textiles, of machine-made fabrics, of different wedding customs, just different ways of life, almost drove weaving in the Caucasus extinct. There's no money in this village. There's not enough water for irrigation, so you can't do agriculture. Not proper agriculture. Kitchen gardens is the lot. There's no pasture land, so you can't raise animals. And so the only money that comes into this village are remittances from people working abroad. So that's men working on construction sites in Russia, women working as nurses or nannies in Greece, Italy, Ukraine, Turkey. And the only actual cash money in this village comes from people working maybe in the school or from the weavers who weave these carpets. And so we're able to give that cash and put it in the hands of the women who weave our carpets. And in a place like this where it has very traditional and strong gender roles, that's also quite an unusual thing. And we're really happy to be able to empower these women.
The story of Zemfira and the women of Kosalari is a testament to the importance of preserving cultural heritage and the power of craftsmanship in even the most difficult of circumstances. As these grandmothers continue to weave, they carry with them the history of their village, the stories of their ancestors, and the hope that the art of carpet weaving will endure for years to come.